What if I told you the reason your blood pressure refuses to go down isn't the salt shaker sitting on your dinner table, but the sweet-tasting chocolate peanut butter protein bar sitting in your gym bag right now? You gave up the potato chips. You skipped the French fries. You stopped buying the canned soups. You did everything the brochures at the doctor's office told you to do, but your doctor is still looking at your chart, shaking her head, and warning you about your blood pressure. Today, I am exposing the sweet-tasting dietary trap you might be falling into every single morning. If you are drinking commercial oat milk or eating heart-healthy fitness snacks to protect your cardiovascular system, you need to hear this before your next grocery run. You are being marketed to, and your blood vessels are paying the heaviest price. I'm Elena, a clinical dietitian specializing in cardiovascular health and preventative nutrition, and I want to welcome you to my practice. Every single day, I sit across from patients who are exhausted, frustrated, and genuinely frightened because their blood pressure is stubbornly high and they cannot figure out why. They tell me they are eating clean. They tell me they are buying the foods with the green check marks and the heart-healthy banners on the packaging. And what I want you to understand about your body today is that your cardiovascular system does not care about the marketing on the front of the box. It only reacts to the chemistry hiding on the back. By the end of our time together today, you are going to understand exactly why your blood pressure stays stubbornly high even after you've cleaned up your diet. More importantly, I am going to teach you how to read a nutrition label exactly like a clinical dietitian, so you can spot these invisible cardiovascular traps before you even put them in your grocery cart. Before we go any further, I want you to take a quick mental inventory of your pantry and your refrigerator right now. Do you have any sweet-tasting snacks marketed as protein-packed, plant-based, or heart-healthy? Tell me down in the comments because you might be shocked at what is actually inside them. Let me tell you about a patient of mine. We'll call him Marcus. Marcus is a 62-year-old retired contractor living in Grand Rapids, Michigan. About a year ago, Marcus's doctor sat him down and told him his blood pressure was creeping up into the danger zone. His doctor used the words stroke risk, and for a man who had worked hard his whole life and was looking forward to traveling with his wife, that was a massive wake-up call. Marcus was motivated. He went home and completely overhauled his kitchen. He threw out his favorite salted peanuts. He stopped ordering bacon at the diner. He completely banished the salt shaker to the back of the pantry. He replaced all his old habits with what he thought was a pristine, heart-healthy routine. Instead of his usual eggs and bacon, he started his day with a trendy barista blend oat milk latte and a high-protein breakfast cookie. For his mid-afternoon snack, instead of chips, he would unwrap a sweet, dark chocolate sea salt protein bar that promised to fuel his day. He was losing a little bit of weight, and he felt proud of his discipline. But 3 months later, Marcus sat in my office, looking completely defeated. He handed me his daily blood pressure log. Despite giving up all the salty junk food he used to love, his readings were stuck. He was consistently hitting 145/90. He looked at me and said, "Elena, I am eating clean. I haven't touched a potato chip in 90 days. I am buying the expensive health foods. Why is my heart working so hard? What is wrong with me?" There was absolutely nothing wrong with Marcus's discipline. His willpower was perfect. But he had fallen into the exact same trap that millions of health-conscious adults fall into every single day. He believed the fundamental myth of the modern grocery store, that sodium always tastes salty. In my practice, I see this misunderstanding constantly. We are trained from childhood to associate sodium with the taste of salt. If a pretzel tastes salty, it has sodium. If a brownie tastes sweet, it doesn't. But in the world of commercially processed health foods, that rule completely falls apart. The health food industry has a massive problem. When they take out natural fats and sugars to make a product look better on a diet plan, the food tastes like cardboard and has the texture of chalk. To fix this, manufacturers use heavy doses of sodium-based chemicals. They use sodium as a preservative to keep the bar sitting on a shelf for 18 months. They use sodium as a binder to keep the plant proteins stuck together. And crucially, they use sodium as a flavor enhancer to mask the bitter, metallic aftertaste of artificial sweeteners. Because these protein bars, breakfast cookies, and oat milks are packed with intense sweeteners like stevia, monk fruit, or sucralose, your tongue completely misses the salt. The sweetness overpowers the sodium. You are eating a candy-flavored bar, thinking you are doing your heart a favor, completely unaware that you just consumed the sodium equivalent of a large order of fast food French fries. To understand why this is so dangerous for patients like Marcus, we need to talk about what actually happens inside your arteries when this hidden sodium hits your bloodstream. Let's make the biology incredibly simple. Think of sodium as a microscopic sponge. Wherever sodium goes in your body, water is forced to follow. When you consume excess sodium from a sweet-tasting protein bar, that sodium enters your bloodstream and immediately starts pulling fluid from your surrounding tissues into your blood vessels. Now, imagine your blood vessels as a network of flexible, delicate pipes. If you suddenly pump a massive amount of extra water into a closed pipe system, what happens to the pressure inside those pipes? It skyrockets. Your heart suddenly has to pump much harder to push this heavier, larger volume of blood through your body. That intense force pressing outward against your delicate vessel walls is what we call high blood pressure. Over time, this constant high-pressure pounding creates microscopic tears in your arteries, acting like sandpaper on the smooth lining of your blood vessels. Your body tries to heal these tears with cholesterol, which forms plaques, eventually leading to the exact heart attacks and strokes my patients are trying so desperately to avoid. Marcus wasn't failing his diet. His diet was deceiving him. And it wasn't just the protein bars. When we looked closely at the rest of his heart-healthy routine, we found 3 specific sweet-tasting culprits that were quietly acting like a garden hose turned on full blast inside his cardiovascular system. And I guarantee at least one of these is sitting in your kitchen right now. Let's break down the 3 biggest offenders of hidden sodium in the health food aisle. Number 1, the barista blend oat milks. What most people think is that switching from dairy milk to plant-based milk is automatically a win for their heart. I hear this all the time. My patients sit in my office and say, "Elena, I don't drink dairy anymore. I switched to oat milk to lower my cholesterol." And while whole, rolled oats themselves are wonderful for your heart, commercial oat milks, especially the barista blends designed to froth beautifully in your coffee cup, are a completely different story. Why is this assumption incomplete? Because naturally, oats and water separate. To make that milk perfectly creamy, to keep it stable while it sits in your refrigerator, and to make it foam up like regular milk, manufacturers add industrial seed oils and heavy sodium-based emulsifiers and acidity regulators. Think about a patient of mine I'll call Arthur. Arthur is a 71-year-old widower living in Dayton, Ohio. After a minor health scare, he started making his own coffee at home using a popular barista blend oat milk, thinking he was making the ultimate heart-healthy choice. But when we actually turned the carton around and read the nutrition label together, we found that every single cup he poured contained well over 150 milligrams of sodium. And because Arthur liked his coffee light and drank it throughout the morning, he was pouring 2 or 3 servings a day. Before 8 a.m., Arthur was drinking nearly 400 milligrams of liquid sodium. The mechanism here is insidious. Because it is in a liquid form, that sodium hits your bloodstream rapidly. It starts pulling water into your vascular system the exact moment you wake up, setting a high-pressure baseline for the rest of your day. You aren't tasting salt, you are just tasting a creamy, slightly sweet morning latte. But inside your chest, your blood vessels are experiencing a massive surge in volume. Number 2. The healthy protein and fitness bars. This is the exact trap Marcus fell into, and it is perhaps the most deceptive aisle in the entire grocery store. People believe these bars are clean energy. They look at the packaging, see 20 grams of protein, keto-friendly, or no added sugar, and assume it is a perfectly safe meal replacement. But here is what the marketing brochures don't tell you. Extracting isolated protein from whey or soy and turning it into a chewy, shelf-stable brick that tastes like a double chocolate brownie requires heavy chemical intervention. To make that bar last for 2 years on a store shelf without molding and to artificially enhance the flavor of the intense sweeteners used inside it, manufacturers pump it full of hidden salts. I have walked down the aisles of major grocery stores and picked up popular sweet-tasting protein bars that contain 300 to 400 milligrams of sodium per bar. For someone actively trying to manage hypertension, the American Heart Association recommends an ideal limit of 1,500 milligrams of sodium for the entire day. If you eat just one of these sweet bars as a quick morning snack, you have instantly consumed a massive chunk of your daily allowance, and you haven't even had lunch yet. Your taste buds are completely tricked by the stevia, monk fruit, or sucralose, but your kidneys are suddenly forced to filter a massive sodium load. Your body holds onto water, and that blood pressure is driven right back up. Number 3. bottled green smoothies and juices. What could possibly be wrong with a bottle of blended spinach, apple, and kale? Most people think a green smoothie is pure, unadulterated liquid health. And if you make it in your own kitchen using fresh ingredients in your blender, it absolutely is. But commercial, bottled green smoothies have a dark secret. If you were to blend spinach and apple at home and leave it on your kitchen counter, it would turn brown and start to ferment by the next morning. So how does that bottle in the grocery store cooler stay bright, vibrant green for 3 weeks? Preservatives. Specifically, sodium-based preservatives like sodium benzoate or sodium hexametaphosphate. Let me tell you about another patient. We'll call her Diane, a 58-year-old from Portland, Oregon. Diane was trying to be incredibly proactive about her aging metabolism. She decided to replace her usual sandwich lunch with a large, expensive bottled green smoothie every day. But Diane started noticing something very strange. By 2 p.m. every single afternoon, her wedding ring felt incredibly tight, and she could see deep sock lines indented around her swollen ankles. Diane was experiencing acute water retention. When we looked at her daily smoothie, it wasn't just packed with hidden fruit sugars. The sodium-based preservatives were causing a massive fluid shift in her body. Because liquid calories do not require much digestion, that sodium was flashing right into her bloodstream, pulling water out of her tissues, puffing up her extremities, and quietly straining her cardiovascular system. The moment she swapped that commercial bottled smoothie for a handful of whole almonds and a fresh apple, the swelling in her ankles vanished and her blood pressure dropped by nearly 10 points. So let me pause right here and ask you, which of these sneaky sodium sources is hiding in your kitchen right now? Is it the barista oat milk, the protein bars, or the bottled smoothies? Let me know down in the comments because identifying the culprit in your own pantry is the very first step to taking your power back. Now, before we move on to exactly how to swap these foods out, I want to give you a specific, highly effective tool for your next doctor's visit. As a clinical dietitian, my goal is always to have my patients working in perfect tandem with their primary care physicians. If you are currently taking blood pressure medication, like an ACE inhibitor, a beta blocker, or a diuretic, you need to understand exactly how your specific medication interacts with dietary sodium. Please hear me clearly. Never adjust or stop your prescribed blood pressure medications on your own, even if your numbers start looking fantastic after you change your diet. Instead, I want you to ask your doctor or your pharmacist this exact question at your next appointment. Given my current blood pressure medications, how sensitive is my body to hidden dietary sodium, and what is my strict daily limit in milligrams? Write that down. Keep it in your wallet or on your phone. It forces your doctor to move beyond generic, unhelpful advice like just watch your salt and give you a hard, measurable clinical target. Once you have that number, whether it is 1,500 milligrams or 2,000 milligrams, you can start looking at these sweet-tasting health foods with a completely different lens. But I don't just want to tell you what to avoid. I am a dietitian. I want to tell you what to eat. In my practice, I focus on solutions that are sustainable, delicious, and genuinely protective of your blood vessels. So let's move on to the exact ranked ingredient swaps you can make today to flush this excess sodium out of your system for good. Here is the exact protocol I use with my patients. If you want to lower your blood pressure, you do not need to give up your morning coffee, and you do not need to stop eating protein. You simply need to upgrade your ingredients so your body actually recognizes them as food rather than a chemical science experiment. Let's start with your morning cup of coffee. Swap number 1. We are replacing that commercial barista blend oat milk with either unsweetened organic soy milk or homemade nut milk. If you turn around a carton of high-quality organic soy milk, the ingredient list should have exactly 2 things: organic soybeans and water. That is it. There are no gums, no industrial seed oils, and absolutely no sodium-based emulsifiers. You still get a beautiful, creamy texture, and you actually get significantly more naturally occurring protein than oat milk provides. If you prefer almond or cashew milk, I highly encourage my patients to invest in a simple, inexpensive nut milk bag and blend it at home. It takes less than 2 minutes, tastes infinitely better than anything in a carton, and most importantly, it keeps your morning sodium intake at 0. You are starting your day by hydrating your blood vessels, not artificially pressurizing them. Swap number 1 targets your morning. Swap number 2 targets your afternoon hunger. We are throwing out those sweet, heavily processed protein bars and replacing them with a clinically proven high-protein powerhouse. Plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt topped with a handful of raw, unsalted walnuts and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Think about the difference here. A chocolate chip protein bar has 20 to 30 chemical ingredients, synthetic binders, and up to 400 milligrams of hidden sodium. A bowl of Greek yogurt with raw walnuts contains zero added sodium. It gives you 15 to 20 grams of high-quality, complete protein, which digests slowly and keeps your blood sugar perfectly stable. The walnuts provide a massive dose of omega-3 fatty acids, which actively calm inflammation inside your arteries. You are getting all the satiety and muscle-building benefits of a protein bar, but instead of straining your heart, you are actually feeding your vascular system the exact nutrients it needs to repair itself. Finally, swap number 3. We are stepping away from the expensive bottled green smoothies. If you want the cardiovascular benefits of greens and fruit, your body is biologically designed to chew them, not drink them out of a plastic bottle that has been sitting on a shelf for 3 weeks. If you are rushing out the door, grab a whole apple and a hard-boiled egg. If you have 5 minutes, put fresh spinach, half a frozen banana, and a scoop of pure, unflavored collagen or whey protein into your own blender with plain water. By making it yourself, you instantly eliminate the sodium benzoate and the sodium hexametaphosphate. When you make these 3 simple swaps, something incredible happens inside your body, and it happens very quickly. Within just a few days of removing this hidden sodium load, your kidneys finally get a chance to catch up. Your body initiates a natural diuresis, meaning it begins to flush out all that excess, trapped water. You might notice that your shoes fit a little looser by the end of the day. You might notice that you aren't waking up with puffy eyes or a stiff, swollen feeling in your fingers. And most importantly, the pressure inside your cardiovascular system fundamentally drops. Let's go back to Marcus. After our appointment, Marcus went home and cleared out his pantry one more time. He didn't eat any less food, he just ate real food. He swapped his barista oat milk for unsweetened soy milk. He traded his sweet protein bars for Greek yogurt and raw almonds. 3 weeks later, he walked back into my clinic. I didn't even need to look at his blood pressure log to know it had worked. The color in his face was entirely different. He looked rested. He sat down, pulled out his notebook, and slid it across my desk. His readings weren't 145/90 anymore. They were a steady, beautiful 122/80. Marcus looked at me and took a deep breath. "I finally feel like I'm in control again," he said. "That is what I want for you. Health is not about punishing yourself. And it is certainly not about eating foods that taste like cardboard. It is simply about giving your body the right signals. Your body is incredibly resilient. Your heart wants to pump efficiently. Your arteries want to be relaxed and flexible. But they cannot do their job if they are constantly fighting against a hidden tide of chemical sodium. Once you know how to read the labels, the marketing loses its power over you, and you get to take your health back into your own hands. I want to know what action you are taking after watching this video. Down in the comments below, please leave one of these 3 phrases. Comment, label check, if you are going straight to your pantry right now to check your oat milks and protein bars. Comment, my doctor, if you are writing down that exact question to bring to your pharmacist or physician at your next appointment. Or comment, sending this if you know a friend, a spouse, or a family member who is struggling to lower their blood pressure and needs to hear this truth. If you want a physical copy of what to look for at the grocery store, click the link in the description below to sign up for my weekly newsletter, and I will send you my free Hidden Ingredients Grocery Cheat Sheet. It is designed to save you time, save you money, and protect your heart every time you shop. If this video helped you today, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you love. Thank you so much for joining me in my practice today. I'm Elena, and I will see you in the next video.